Now, e-commerce has gained traction around the world, and the African continent has also started to harness the power of this platform. Bidorbuy is one of South Africa's leading online platforms, and one of their leading partners is OnTheLine. I've got both here, Jaco Jonker and Glenn Fine from Bidorbuy and OnTheLine. Jaco, Glenn, welcome to Take It Work. Now, before we start what Bidorbuy and OnTheLine does and why we're in this showroom, let's start with the e-commerce landscape in South Africa. How's it growing, and what do you see is the future, and why are people opting to buy online? Jaco, let's start with you.
Well, we've seen a massive difference or massive change in e-commerce over the last couple of years. I think the last sort of 3-4 years we've seen some nice growth, some nice traction, especially people getting access to mobile phones and getting online. Yeah, it's been a very exciting few years where we can really see the numbers growing, the number of sellers on the Bidorbuy platform. As more and more people get access to the internet, it just becomes so much more convenient to purchase stuff online. While you're on the move somewhere, you might sit down, just browse for something and actually shop while you're in a train or a bus or in a car. And it also the pricing that generally goes with online businesses. So you get a good deal, you get the convenience, and it's generally a good experience.
Glenn, is that why OnTheLine is online? Is it all about the convenience factor, the price factor? Why is your business online, and why don't you have a traditional retail store?
We chose not to get into retail because we started about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, and we were looking for a niche space to be in. So we decided, instead of becoming a niche importer, standard importer and supplying retailers, we were looking for a niche space to be in. So we created our business model as being importers and supplying online only, and building a niche model there. And what we've seen over the last 2 years is, as the reputation has improved of online transactions and deliveries improved, and efficiency and trust, the businesses have started to grow on an exponential basis.
Now, Jaco, how does the relationship work? As you are a platform as Bidorbuy, how do you sync with businesses like OnTheLine?
So Bidorbuy is basically the technology platform. So we've built a lot of tools and on the platform where we help sellers of any sort of phase in their life cycle, where you're a startup seller or a more established seller. The tools basically help you as a seller to plug into the Bidorbuy platform. So when a consumer browses for a product, we generally pull the products in from a seller's, let's say they've got an e-commerce store, we can pull the products in, and that gets exposure to a very wide audience in South Africa because of the traction that Bidorbuy has in South Africa. So people browse for products, they find the products, they can actually then check the product out, make payment online, and then our systems will sync back to a seller, like for instance OnTheLine, and that sale with the payment information gets sent through to the system, and then OnTheLine will take the next step from the order placement.
Let's talk about that next step. So the order comes in, what happens next? We're here in your showroom, and there's a gorgeous warehouse outside.
So one of the
well.
big value propositions that Bidorbuy offers is they allow us to interact with their audience, which is really nice. So you engage with seller, where in traditional online retail, you've got no engagement with your buyer. They're sitting behind a computer and you never know who's doing the transaction, where in the Bidorbuy environment, the sellers and the buyers are actually encouraged to communicate with one another. So you get to know your customer, and like almost a feeling of being in traditional retail. But then to your question, what happens when the order comes through? The order will go through a process system, verify payment, before we market an item, ensure that inventory levels are up to date, and then we send the parcels, we send bulk parcels to distribution partners, we pick the items, we pack them, and we courier them, and then it's got an integrated distribution system that tells a person where the item is in the system. Is it being picked? Is it being packed? Is it being shipped? What process is that? And we try and keep communication relevant to the customer so that they feel comfortable and confident. And as those processes step and repeat themselves more and more frequently, that's where the space is starting to grow.
How do you decide which partners to partner with? Because obviously you have a reputation as a business yourself. You need to know that the partners you have will deliver because they're using your platform. So how, is it a lot of scrutiny? What is the process?
Yeah, we do quite a bit of scrutiny behind the scenes, but we also don't want to make it too difficult for the startup to actually get onto a platform like Bidorbuy in order to start selling a product, or to at least test something. So we try and encourage entrepreneurship. So we want people to come on, but we do the checks in the background. So what we also then offer is, Bidorbuy offers a buyer protection program, where we give the consumer a bit of a trust factor. So we say as Bidorbuy, we will protect the consumer up to a certain level depending on the seller, just to create that trust on the site, to encourage the consumer to actually purchase from these newer sellers, because generally it's difficult for newer sellers to get traction on a platform like
people
Bidorbuy.
like to buy into brands and things that they know.
And generally, especially when you start growing your seller reputation on the Bidorbuy platform, you generally get a lot more traction. So it's for us to try and make sure that everybody has a fair chance on the platform to get their products out to the consumer and being able to transact with it.
And guys, we have 30 seconds left. The future of e-commerce in South Africa and where you hope and where you see it going.
E-commerce in South Africa, I think e-commerce is just going to continue to grow. I think you'll find that a lot of bricks and mortar stores, the people that have not gone online yet, will have e-commerce as a part of their business strategy.
So it's not necessarily the death of retail.
Definitely not. I believe that when you look at retail, you have to look at retail. E-commerce is a part of retail. So it's really about bricks and mortar businesses finding a way to bring online into their business and not keep it as a separate line of their business. So you'll find that people are going to get more sort of, it's just going to be another channel to buy from. So you either want to buy in store or you buy online. For the consumer, it shouldn't be a difference.
Jaco, Glenn, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.